Hey guys, welcome to another video on my channel. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at this weekend's test server. So this weekend we are testing a new heavy weapon prototype called Flux, and that is the weapon over here. It's essentially a heavy version of the Gekko. In terms of its stats, at level 8, 4,170 damage, has a range of 1,100 meters, so the same as a Gekko. The capacity is 30. I think it's capacity energy cells, or I don't know what they're referring to by that, but it has slightly less than the Gekko, and the reload time and everything is the same. So what I've essentially done here was I've loaded this weapon up on different robots, different builds. Unfortunately, I don't have access to things like the Scourge or the Shocktrain, so I don't have the ability to include that in some of my builds here. So I'm just resorting to essentially just the Flux and the Gekko weapon. Whoa, that guy's... Whoa, look at his health just dropped. I think it's because we all have... we all have this weapon. We all can essentially camp here. This is going to be nuts. Oh, man. So let me try to focus down this player here. The funny part is, even if he takes me out, I got 4 more with range. So this... How the heck did this guy get here? Let me just focus him down. Oh, it looks like he has the thermite. And this player here was hiding. So let's try to wear him down. I'm just waiting for my weapons to charge up a bit here. And let's focus on him. So what I'm probably actually going to do is I'm going to run this for, maybe a few minutes. I mean, we're already at 7.5, almost 7.5 minutes in. And then I'm going to kill this bot and run another build. That way we can go through all the different builds using the Flux weapon. Okay, so it looks like I'm losing my weapons here. See, those guys can just take me out, and then I will switch. I've only got one Gekko. The robot that you see in front of me, that one there is called the Falcon, and I did a video on that earlier this morning, so if you happen to miss that, make sure to check that out. I'll probably put a link to that in the video description as well, so you guys can take a look at that. So we have this weapon here, the Flux, on the Carnage now, because who knows, maybe you might consider putting it on a Carnage. What I don't have in my lineup is the Raijin. So the Raijin might be another option. We're all running this weapon here. Trying to focus down some of these players. They have... What is that Fury? I think this Fury has the same weapon, or he has Trebs. Yeah, I think it's Trebs and Zeus. So anyways, if he takes me out, then at least I can switch to another build. Come on, wear him out. There we go. So one thing that I've been noticing of late, and I'm not sure if some of you may agree with me on this, because I did mention when I ran my Natasha, this past Friday, or at least yesterday when I was doing the Funny Builds Friday, I find with a lot of the newer weapons, in a way it's kind of breathing new life into older robots. I've been finding, for example, the Natasha has been very viable with some of the newer weapons, especially like the Dragoon or the Ember weapon or the Tempest. Anyone who has a Natasha, they can actually be pretty competitive with those bots as long as they have, some of the newer weapons out there. So that's something that I do like with the game right now. Obviously, with a lot of the newer components and stuff, it can be a little bit harder to get. But I think with time, as long as you are patient, you are able to get that all free. It didn't really take me long, for example, to get the Gust or the Storm weapons. And neither did it take me long to get like the Tempest or the Scourge. So I think a lot of those weapons are making some of the older robots quite viable in higher level play. I was in a game about a week ago actually. I was running a Natasha with Dragoons and Arbalest just to test it out, and I ended up doing, I think it was over 1.6 million damage, which is pretty crazy, and most of that damage actually came from the Natasha. But here's a build which I'm sure many of you might be interested in if you happen to have a Natasha and Geckos. You know, when this weapon comes out, it can actually do quite a bit of damage if you have it loaded up in your lineup. So a great way to snipe. And I think what we are probably going to see in the future, a lot of players running the Fury Dragoon, so this might be a very good counter to that. So if you do have Geckos, don't sell them because you never know, it might come in handy. Man, this is like Star Wars back here. You see all these lasers going off. Ooh. Okay, so we've got 3 minutes here. I'm going to probably take a few shots. Maybe drain this guy here, and then I'm going to actually ditch the spot because I want to get some footage of some of the other builds as well. Don't know if I can hit that guy. Okay, so let's ditch this. Let's go for the Fury. So we've still got 3 minutes here. Hopefully the other team has more players. Right now I'm only seeing 2, which might be a bit of a problem because then I'm going to have to run another game so that you guys can see more of the Fury and the Butch, because I haven't even run the Butch yet. So I'm just waiting for my Flux to charge up a bit here. Let's go for, I think that's a Rogatka. Yeah, so this build does quite a lot of damage. The player that's in front here has the Falcon, so he's actually able to block about 66% of the damage that I'm dealing right now. But I don't think that's going to be enough. So anyways, let me get out of this bot here. And let's drop into the Butch. So this is going to be the final bot. And, you know, I ran a game with this on Canyon Map earlier, and it's very effective. So if you happen to have a Butch, you may want to consider this build. Especially if you're dealing with a lot of players running the Fury Dragoon, for example, even like a Zeus or, you know, Tempest. So it would be one way to counter. So you can see here, I'm able to use the Flux, switch over, and then hit that player and finish them off. And I think that is about it. I think we probably make them out. It's going to be interesting to see how much damage I was able to do at the end of this game. Okay, so that's kind of how we stacked up against the rest of my teammates and the other team. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run another game because I didn't really get to use the Butch and the Fury. That way we can take a look at that. And maybe I'll throw in the Raijin with the Flux as well for those of you that might be interested in it. But anyways, let's get rolling onto game number 2 here. Okay, so game number 2 we have dropped in on Canyon Map. Another large map. I actually tried to get a larger map so that I could run all of my builds here. But I'm going to start off with the Fury because I didn't really get to use it the last game. And this is Beacon Rush, so I don't have any brawlers in my lineup. I'm going to have to use this to get beacons and to brawl with, essentially. Just waiting to charge up here so I can focus down this player right at the back there. He knows that I'm trying to go for this beacon. He's probably going to wear me out too. Well, he's down to half. I'm getting there. And we have another player over here. Not sure what he has, but I'm trying to see if I can weigh him down a little bit so that he doesn't take this beacon here. Oh, he's lost a weapon, but I think I'm going to lose one too soon. Okay, there we go. We managed to take him out. We've got a problem up top here, though. Trying to use my fury to take out their range if I can, but also the immediate threats which we have to the right side. Maybe I can focus down this fury if I can get there. And what I'm probably going to do is, once I've run a couple of minutes here with this build, I'm going to switch over to the Butch, because I didn't get to use that either. And what I've done was I've actually thrown in the Raijin as well. So I should be losing my bot here soon, because I'm getting hit by this player back there. I think he's running the Falcon. Let's try to get a little bit more damage in, because I'm almost down here. There we go. And let me drop in. You know what? Let's use the Raijin here first, because this way I at least have a shield. And what you can actually do with this bot is, when you are in Bastion, you do that additional, I think it's 30% damage while you're in Bastion mode, so that can help too. And the beauty about this bot is, if they have the same weapon, you know, I at least have a shield to block. So for example, this player here, he might focus me down. This guy just shot me. Shoot them, not me. So I'm keeping an eye on the time here, because I don't want to stay in this spot for too long. I want to run the Butch as well. And that should take him down. We're at 6 minutes here. Keeping an eye on that clock. Should be able to hit this player. I think what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to fire this quick here, and then I'm going to actually switch over to the Butch. We may actually want to stop this player here first, because he's getting pretty close to us. Yeah, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to switch over here. I'm going to run my Butch so that we get some footage of this. This guy's name is Super Mario. But, let's focus down this player here. So what I like about the Butch is you have that, and then you can switch over and do quite a bit of damage, as you can see here. And I think this kind of makes the Butch actually a little bit more viable too. Kind of back to, you know, what I said in the previous game. A lot of the older robots are becoming a lot more viable with some of the newer weapons that are being brought into the game. So I kind of like that. But obviously you have, you know, all balance issues for some of the weapons which need to be resolved. But at least we can see that, you know, some of the older robots can be quite competitive as long as you have, you know, the newer weapons. That way you don't have to focus entirely on newer robots. You can use The older robots just put the newer weapons on. And the Natasha is actually a great example of that too. Trying to focus down this player here. Oh, almost. I think this guy's gonna take me out because he caught me out in the open here. Maybe I can focus him down with this. Let's see. Yeah, this is kind of bad because I can't exactly brawl with the lineup I have right now, which is essentially just a camper lineup. I'm gonna try wear him down because this is when he's actually the most vulnerable. But I think I'm gonna end up losing here because I can't really grab beacons and I can't brawl with this weapon. It is starting to wear him out actually. You take a look at that. If he were to jump, I would probably be able to finish him off. Trying to corner shoot a bit. But I think I might be able to get him here. There we go. Okay, so you know what? We might actually end up winning this. We've got a guy in center, and I have, whoa. I have some range, but I don't know if I have enough range. What does that guy have? Oh, he has the Falcon. Uh-oh, I might be the last player left here. I'm trying to see if I can break his shield here because, well, I can't exactly brawl with this. Let's focus him down here because you know what? This is when he's the most vulnerable, and this is when you want to focus down that player. Yeah, they're going for beacons here. If we can get him on the side, maybe wear him down, that might be able to stop him. Okay, so that player is going to be... Yeah, he's going to be trying to get that beacon there. We need to get another beacon quickly. Fury, yeah, I think I'm the only one that has a speed, but you know what? I've got to keep my distance from this guy. So if he does actually jump, maybe I should lock onto him. If he jumps... he's going to be actually more vulnerable. And we have 50 seconds, so we need to get into a center. So if I go into center and he gets their beacon, then we stand a pretty good chance of winning here. But it's not looking good right now, so I'm going to move quickly here. Yep, looks like we're getting that one beacon. We're going to be changing two beacons here, and we'll have a 3 on them. So this is good. And I think he's getting hit here because you can see his health. So if he decides to jump, which he did, that's actually worse for him because now I'm getting that damage in on him and he becomes more vulnerable because he can't block the 66%, of the damage that is being dealt to him. But a very close game, and kind of glad that I decided to run a second game here because that showcased all the different builds for the Flux that I had in my lineup. But anyways, in the comment section below, let me know what you think of the Flux weapon. Do you think it's doing too much damage? If you had to get this weapon, what would you put it on? Would you run it on some of the older robots? Is there a particular build that you would like to run it on? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed, consider subscribing. Until the next video, I'll catch you guys later.